translating words into mathematical problems. When converting words to equations, we need to understand key terms. So for example, sum, the operation would be addition. Total, still addition. More than, we use addition. Difference, less than, we use subtraction. Times or product, we use multiplication. Quotient, we use division. Is not equal to, these are the symbols. And so take some time to review these terms. So example 53, translate these phrases into correct mathematical expressions. So y increased by 4 would be written as y plus 4. The sum of m and n means m plus n. The product of k times w is k times w. Or you can write it as kw or k times w. S divided by t, we can write it as s divided by t or s divided by t. 4 added to twice an unknown quantity x. So we have 4 added to twice an unknown quantity x. Twice an unknown quantity minus 7. The quotient, that means we're going to have division of 5 times the square of x. The square of x would be x squared, and the square of y. So let's look at some word problems. John is 3 years older than Jim. Jim is 4 years less than twice David's age. How old are the 3 boys if their ages add up to 35? So here we have John, and we know that he's 3 years older than Jim. So whatever Jim ages, we just add 3 to that to get John. Jim is 4 years less than twice David's age. So here is 2 times David's age, and then we're going to subtract 4 years. And then David is David, we don't know his age. Okay, so let's call David X. So let's call him X. So then that means that Jim would be equal to 2 times X minus 4. And then for John, we can write it as 3 plus Jim. Jim is 2x minus 4. So that's 2x minus 1 for John. And all we know is that if we add them all together, so here's David plus Jim, which is 2x minus 4, plus John. John was 2x minus 1. Their ages would add up to 35. So we combine our like terms. 2x plus 2x is 4x plus x is 5x. Minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5. Add the 5. So we get 5x is equal to 40. So x is going to be 8. So that tells me that David is equal to 8. And then Jim is going to be twice David's age. So that's 8 times 2 is 16. Minus 4 is 12 years old. And then John is 3 plus Jim. So if Jim is 12, then John would be 15 years old. A cashier has 3 more dimes than nickels and twice as many nickels as quarters. Find the number of each kind of coin if their value is $3.05. So a cashier has dimes, and she has 3 more dimes than nickels. So that's going to be 3 plus the nickels. And then for the nickels, we know that the nickels is twice as many nickels as quarters. So 2 times the quarters. And then quarters is just going to be quarters. Okay, so if we let quarters equal to x, then for the quarters, let's write it as x. The nickels would be twice the quarters, so we can call it 2x. And then the dimes would be 3 plus the nickels, 2x. Now the thing here with money is that they have different values, so this x does not represent the same. It's representing the quantity, but we still need to determine the value of each of these quantities. So a quarter we know is worth 25 cents. So this is 0.25x. And a nickel is worth 0.05 cents. So that's going to be multiplied to the 2x. And a dime is worth 10 cents, 0.10. And so we need to multiply everything by 0.10. So we have 0.25x, and then this one's going to be 0.10x, and this would be 0.30x plus 0.20x, 0.30 plus 0.20x. And if we add all of them, 0.30 plus 0.20x, that should come out to $3.05. So 0.25 plus 0.10 plus 0.30 is 0.65x. So 0.25 plus 0.10 plus 0.20 is 0.55x. Plus 0.30 is equal to 3.05. And so let me just write it over here. We're going to subtract the 30. So 3.05 minus 0.30 would be 2.75. 2.75 divided by 0.55. So 2.75 divided by 0.55 would give us x is equal to 5. So that means that we have 5 quarters. And the nickels is 2 times the number of quarters. So that means we have 10 nickels. And the dimes is 3 plus the number of nickels. So that's going to give us 13 dimes. Okay. Number 56, if the perimeter of a rectangle is 18 inches and one side is 1 inch longer than the other, how long are the sides? So usually drawing a picture is helpful. So we have a rectangle. Perimeter just means that we're going to be adding the sides around the figure. So if this was 3 and this was 2, we would say 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. So perimeter just means to add all the sides around the figure. So it tells us that the perimeter, I'm going to call it P, is 18 inches. And one side is 1 inch longer than the other. So let's say this side is called X. Then the other side is going to be 1 inch longer, so we can say X plus 1. How long are the sides? So for perimeter, again, we're adding all the sides around. So we have X plus 1, then we have an X, and then this side is X plus 1. So we're going to add X plus 1, and then this side is X, so plus X. We know the perimeter is 18. So X plus X plus X plus X is 4X. 1 plus 1 is 2. Subtract the 2. So we get 4X is equal to 16. So X is equal to 4. So one side, this side here is 4 and this side is 5. So if we were to add this, we would have 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 4, 13 plus 5 would be 18. Okay, so my sides are 14 inches and 15 inches. Find a number such that 5 more than half the number is 3 times the number. So find a number that is 5. So I'm going to say 5 here. More than means to add half the number. So I'm going to take half of that number. I don't know the number, so I can call it x, and then I'm going to take half. Is represents an equal sign 3 times the number. So my number is x. I want to solve for x. So I can multiply everything by 2 here to get rid of that fraction. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times x over 2 is x. And 2 times 3 is 6x. Subtract the x. So I get 10 is equal to 5x. So x is equal to 2. So 2 is my number. Jennifer got a job as an engineer at a starting salary of 28,000. Miguel got a job of an accountant with a starting salary of 24,000. Jennifer will receive an annual increase of 600 and Miguel will increase by 1100. How many years until their salary is equal? So for these word problems, writing mathematical equations will make the problem a lot faster. But let's say that you're stuck, then you can just kind of think through it. Here's Jennifer and here's Miguel. So Jennifer starts off with 28,000 and Miguel starts off with 24,000. So the next year, Jennifer will receive an increase of 600. So now she's going to be making 28,600 and Miguel receives an increase of 1,100. So now he's going to be at 25,100. And this is going to keep on going. So the next year here, Jennifer will receive 29,200 and Miguel will receive 26,200. And we keep going until we find the same salary. So this is 017, 27,100. The next year I add 600 more. So we get 30,400. And this one would be 28,200, add 600 more. So we're at 31,000 for Jennifer and Miguel is at 29,300. Add 600 more. 30,400. So 600 more. 32,200. And Miguel will be at 31,500 and 600 more. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay, and so let's just double check our work. So 28,000, I added 600, so we're at 28,600. If I add 600 more, we get 0,012, 29,200, 600 more would be 20,800, 600 more would be 30,400, 600 more here would be 31,000, 600 would be 31,600, and then 600 would be 32,600 and 32,800. So this side is okay. Let's check over here. So we get 0, 0, 25,100. If we add 1,100 more, 26,200, 1,100 more. So I think here, if we add 1,100, we get, this should be a 3. If I add 1,100 here, then this would be a 4. And 1,100 here would be 5. 1,100 here would be 6. And 1,100 would be 7. And 1,100 would be 8. And so here we can see that they end up with the same salary. Okay, so how many years pass by? Well, when you start a year, we start with time 0. So that would be in the 8th year is when they're going to make the same salary. Okay, so you don't have to use a mathematical equation. You can just do something like this. But notice how quicker using a mathematical formula would make this. So Jennifer got a job as an engineering starting at 28,000. So here's Jennifer. Her job is going to give her an increase of 600. So I'm going to be adding 600 increase every year. So we don't know how many years, so we can call it X. Miguel makes 28,000. I'm sorry, Miguel makes 24,000 starting, but he's going to have an increase of 1,100 every year. So if I subtract 600, then we get 500x, and I'm going to subtract 24,000. So we get 4,000 divided by 500. So x is going to be equal to 8. So it takes 8 years before they have the same salary. An aquarium has a length of n squared plus 2 inches, a height of n plus 5, and a width of 10. What is the volume? So an aquarium looks something like this. And they tell me that the length is n squared plus 2, and the height is n plus 5, and the width is 10. Okay. So for volume of a rectangular solid is length times width times height. So we want to find the volume. The length here was n squared plus 2. The width is 10, and the height is n plus 5. So we multiply these out. So we get n squared times 10 is 10n squared plus 2 times 10 is 20. Now we multiply this one. 10 times n, 10n squared times n is 10n cubed. 10n squared times 5 is 50n squared. 20 times n is 20n. 20 times 5 is 100. And so my volume is going to be this here, which is going to be 10n cubed, 50n squared, 20n, and 100. Letter C. The floor of a room is shaped like a square with sides 2s minus 2 feet. What is the area? So here we have a square, and the length is 2s minus 2. Since it's a square, that means that this has the same length. Area can be found by multiplying length times width. So we have the length, which is 2s minus 2. So if we multiply this out, 2s times 2s is 4s squared. 2s times negative 2 is negative 4s, and plus 4. So my area here is 4s squared minus 8s plus 4, which is letter A. 61, a repair person charges $35 for a service call plus 45 for each hour. Which of the following costs in dollars for a service takes 8 hours? So we have a repair person, we call him, we have to pay him $35, him or her. And then we're going to be adding $45 for each hour. We don't know how many hours. So this would be our formula. So that's our answer. Video via rents classic video games. So classic video games are $250 for $5 for 5 days. And then new games are 350 for 5 days. If Rob rents C classic games and new games, what is his cost per day? So 250, if we divide by 5, will give us how much he pays per day. So that would be point 50. And 350 divided by 5 is how much he pays for the new games. So 0.70. So it says Rob rents C classic games. So that's 50.50C. And new games. So that's plus 0.70 new games. What is his cost per day? So this would be his cost per day. Letter B.